everyone, and welcome back to Witchtionery. If you have yet to subscribe to this channel, then please do so because we are getting crafty and spooky all month long. And today I wanted to bring to you guys the Ghostly Greeting Stamp and Die set from Hello Bluebird. I really fell in love with this set when I first saw it last year, and this was actually my first Hello Bluebird stamp set buy. And shout out to Hello Bluebird because they have been making my Halloween playlist extra special lately, especially with their spooky script stamp set. Oh my goodness, that thing came in clutch. For my cards today, I really wanted to make some extra special and gaudy backgrounds, and to do so I'm pulling out my Arteza watercolor paper as well as my Arteza 36 color pan set, and as well as those supplies I'm also going to be taking out my Finetec opaque watercolor ink. Now the Finetec watercolor ink is extra sparkly, and it definitely gives you a really awesome pigment for any starry nights. I definitely recommend it highly. And I'm also going to just be using some white acrylic ink to make some extra white stars, I guess, in these backgrounds. I have to admit, it has been raining all day here in the city, so I'm just in a very special mood where I felt like making these kinds of backgrounds today. So I'm just going to hand you guys over to the music now and just let you guys color and relax with me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, stay spooky for a little bit, and I will come at you guys in just a little bit. So here is what our backgrounds look like, and I will apologize ahead of time for my camera shaking. Every time I went to go press play, my camera holder was just a little extra temperamental today, so my apologies. For my actual stamping today, I'm just going to be stamping down all of my images using my Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink, and I'm just going to be stamping down all of my images onto a scrap piece of cardstock. I'm going to be coloring each of my images using some Copic markers. Now I have some very basic colors of Copics. I don't own a ton. Shout out to Dawn, who sent me some yellow Copics. I went through a phase where I started trying to collect all of the green Copic markers. That was too hard, I gave up. But yeah, I have very basic colors of each particular color. I have a lot of grays and greens, but for these I didn't feel like a ton of shadows and things like that were very necessary, so I'm just doing a very basic coloring scheme. So now that we are done die cutting everything, all of our panels are done drying, so let's just take a quick look at those. I really like the way that they turned out. This one's probably my favorite, but I love them all equally because I made them all. Definitely the perfect project for a rainy day. So once those are done drying, it is time to start assembling my cards. So of course, for all of these, I'm going to be using an excessive amount of foam tape. For this card, I really wanted all of the focus to be in the oval. Originally, I kind of had this idea of making it look kind of like a really weird Halloween snow globe, and then my idea just kind of changed from that, but either way. From my stash, I pulled out an action wobble, and I think I'm gonna give this card to my friend Tiana because I always like sending her something new every time I try it because she's just been one of like my biggest supporters since like forever. So action wobble, I don't think she's gotten a card with one, so she might get this one for Halloween, and I hope she likes it. The rest of my actual little ghosties are just gonna be raised up with some foam tape, and I'm gonna put it aside for now and gonna keep working on my other cards, but not before I add this little bow to this little ghost. For my next card, I really wanted to cover up that unsightly blotch where my masking went a little awry, but before I did that, I really wanted to stamp down the sentiment, "Happy Haunting," to this little ribbon. I remember when I used to take paper source card making classes, they taught us how to do something like this, and I remember when I saw it in a stamp set for the first time, I think I nearly lost my mind. I was so happy that something I learned in a class was being reflected in a stamp set, so yay! I'm going to just kind of distribute my ghosties throughout, but I have to say, like, this background half reminds me of DreamWorks, and I have no idea how this turned out to look that way. Like, that top little section kind of looks like I made clouds. No idea how that happened, and okay, Bob Ross, I guess. I had a Bob Ross moment. Happy accidents. No mistakes, just happy accidents. For this card, I decided to use all 4 of my little ghosties, and I really like it, but for now, again, we're gonna put it to the side and work on our next card. For this card, I kind of had to do a little bit of stamp surgery. Well, not stamp surgery, it was like the die cut surgery, because I didn't want any of the elements to kind of peek through the masked border. So I did what I did. Once I was done with that, I placed the ghosts throughout the portions that I really wanted to place them at. And for this one, I didn't use all 4. I didn't want to overcrowd my actual panel. So yeah. So here's all 3. Once I was done with that, I adhered all of these panels using some foam tape onto some orange slush cardstock from Simon Says Stamp, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to stamp down this boo around my oval just because I wanted to add a little bit more interest. And for this particular card, I wanted to put the boo next to that little ghost that reminds me of the alien pile aliens on Instagram. And here I was adding the boo sentiment next to that particular ghost on the mask portion because I felt like that added a really nice little bit of interest to that card. I wasn't quite done with my oval card. I really wanted to add the ghostly greetings stamp to the corner here just to add a little bit more balance to the actual card panel. And once I was done with that, I decided that these cards needed a little bit more sequined interest, so I pulled out my Studio Katia Shimmering Ice sequins, and I just decided to adhere them down using my Ranger Glossy accents, and that just about finished all of these cards. After adhering everything to the outside, I wanted to add any extra elements that I had die cut to the inside so I don't waste anything at all. So I just quickly do a little hyperlapse of all of the work I did on the inside of these cards, and I we'll show it off right about now. That just about wraps day 9 of Witchtionary's 13 Crafty Nights. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you guys again soon for next time's video. Take care.